Yo, what's going on, Brick Squad? Welcome back to another episode of Building Anaxes in... As a car goes by. Thank you. Welcome back to another episode of Building Anaxes in LEGO. We got week number 25 here today, and, well, I'm going to be frank with you, we got a crap ton done. If you guys remember the last segment that we worked on the mountain, last week was the AV7 anti-vehicle tank. The week before was getting a mountain started. This week, we've essentially doubled the entire mountain. I'm pretty surprised. I did not, by any means, expect to get this much done, but nonetheless, I'm super excited to show you guys all the stuff we got done for today. But of course, let's go ahead and give a huge thank you to our two series sponsors. Number one, Brick Stuff. If you guys are looking for custom third-party lights for your mocks, sets, or anything else you're making, check out brickstuff.com. Use coupon code TBW10 in your checkout to save 10% off. And huge thank you to Minifigs4U for supplying some super detailed minifigures. You guys will see a whole bunch more of them coming very soon, so make sure you guys stay tuned. Thank you to both our series sponsors. Go follow their links. Check out the websites down below in the description. So this week was my first full week back at school, and I'm actually really happy because it didn't necessarily impact really anything negatively. So throughout the week, I was able to spend maybe like 5 hours or so total on the mock. I did like an hour-and-a-half live stream, and I did a lot of work off camera to make sure that I kept getting more progress done to show you guys. Now, I obviously have hinted in the past that I am coming towards the end of the building series, probably the last 4 or 5 segments coming up very soon. So we should be done theoretically by week 30. I think it'll be week 29 will hopefully be the last like build segment, and then week 30 or the finale, that'll be the last segment that we do before the cinematic and all that kind of stuff. So of course I'll talk a lot more about that in the outro of today's video, so make sure you guys stay tuned. But quickly guys, if you haven't already subscribed, please definitely go ahead and consider subscribing. It helps out the channel a ton, and drop a like down below if you guys are excited. Like I said, we're gonna be talking about the mountains. As you guys might be able to see behind me, let's see if I give you guys a little sneak peek shot here. There is a ton of stuff done for this week. The mountains have nearly, like I said, doubled, probably even more than doubled. What's good is now they are at the height or around the same height as where I want the final height to be for the mountains. So of course we could stop, building it up high, and we can start filling in all the extra areas and stuff like that. So now, of course, what's really awesome about this week's segment is we are going to finally be able to capture the sense of scale. If you guys have been with me for any particular amount of time on this build series, I have talked about scale as one of the most important things with a mock, and now we have not had the height scale. We've had the long scale, we've had the width scale, but now we finally have that height scale to get everything in comparison to each other. So I cannot be more excited to show you guys the progress we got done for this week. Like I said before, guys, drop a like if you guys are excited, and without any further delay, let's go ahead and jump on into the time lapse for this week's work. Alrighty, and as with every single segment we have here on the channel, of course, we start off with this overhead view, and you can see a considerable amount of progress has been done with those backdrop mountains. So of course that's what we're going to be talking about today. Now, in terms of anything else you guys see on the mock, nothing has changed particularly, so don't worry about anything other additions to the mock as well. Like I said, this is where the medical bay is going to be going and everything like that. But here we have these monstrosity walls here. I'm actually really happy with how these are coming out. Obviously last week we probably had up to about this level right here done, so we more than doubled the entire height of the walls, which is really nice. And you guys can see I have elaborated that wall technique. I wish I can give you guys a better angle of that one right there, but here's just an example so you can see I have been using that technique of sort of like simple, less is more, I guess you kind of say. Like I said, an axis is like a clean cut rock wall, so I've been able to expand this technique going up with this height, which has honestly been pretty fun. It's not a technique you guys see often here in Lego, I guess, if you can kind of say. So I'm really happy that I was able to capture a lot of cool things. Like, for example, I built this like little crevice in the rock mountain right here. I think that looks really nice. And then basically, like, the big thing I did for the other mountain is, you guys can see on the very top there's a crack going throughout pretty much like the entire, like, 70% from left to right. And that kind of is really cool because it goes through two different levels. So you guys can see here there's like a front level and a back level, and that crack goes through both of them. So that was really fun to make, and in all honesty, this entire thing killed my collection. Now, I don't know if you guys can see too well because we have the starter story here, but basically on the side of the glass, there is just a whole bunch of brick, and this is literally just a stack of 1x3 brick. If you guys saw my haul video earlier this week, you'll see that I actually got a whole bunch of 1x3 light bluish gray or dark bluish gray brick, and that was kind of what I used to essentially build up a lot of this mountain. So it is definitely safe to say that my dark bluish gray part collection has been taking a big hit recently, but I mean, it looks so good. I mean, you could just sort of see the sense of how high this entire thing is going to be, right? We have that tower, we got the ATTE right over there, and then we have the big mountain. Like, that's going to be a massive mountain. If you put yourself at like a minifigure height looking up, that's going to be a big mountain, boy. That's going to be awesome. So obviously I'm super excited for that to show you guys. Now, one thing you will notice is, hey Matt, where is the middle section? There is a whole middle section of this thing missing. Well, I have not worked on that yet. I've actually been designing a couple of really cool techniques that I will be doing for this part of the mock, I guess you can kind of say. So the idea is, I think I'm going to tile off the top of this segment right here, and then continue building off of this layer right there and have it basically just go straight up. I think that's what we're going to be working with. I do want to say that it is not something I have like entirely thought of just yet, so I'm still in the process of thinking about what I'm going to do. So hopefully the next update, when you guys see that mountain or that rock wall, this entire section will be complete. So we'll have like a complete face of a mountain. Now obviously I'm going to have to continue the same techniques of the cracks and the slopes and stuff like that going through the middle section. So it's not going to be too difficult because obviously I've been doing that already for quite some time now, but it is going to be time consuming. So hopefully by the next one or two segments, whichever segment comes next of me working on the mountain, I will have sort of this entire middle section done, so you guys won't have to worry about that, and like it'll look really nice, of course, when that is done. Now, I've gotten a few questions about what I'm going to be including inside and on top. So guys, just to be clear on the record, there will be no interior. I don't know if you guys can see, but there isn't too much room behind here. It's not really worth doing anything behind there. I don't think it'll be worth using parts in time, so there will not be an interior. Now, as far as the top goes, I have plates. I'm probably going to plate the top and then cover the back with some more dark bluish gray brick, but I really don't know what I would include on the top. So if you guys have any suggestions what I would include on the very top, it can't be anything heavy. It's not going to be the most structurally sturdy because obviously this is a lot of area to sort of cover up. Now, what is good, I do have a whole bunch of these yellow, like, lattice bricks, I think they're called, if you guys can see that. So I'm going to use a whole bunch of them to basically just stack up like columns and then plate off the top, I think is what I'm going to do. So that's the plan as of right now. But like I said, it's not going to be anything that can support something super sturdy. So, you know, if we want to put some Easter eggs up top or like a cool little scene going on, like that's entirely cool, but I don't think we can include like a building or a vehicle on the top of the mountain. So if you guys have any ideas what I should put on the very tippy top, let me know down below. I really don't think anything needs to be on top and anything like that, but it's kind of what I'm thinking of right now. Now, I will say I will be including a little room, most likely on the top right here. I think that's going to be a special dedication room for every donor who has surpassed the maximum threshold. I think that's $150 contributions to the mock. I think as far as right now, we have 3 people, so that's awesome. Thank you guys so much. I cannot thank you guys enough for that. But right here is going to be that special room for all you guys. It's going to be the special dedication room for those of you who go above and beyond with helping me out here on the channel. And then as far as everyone else goes who was in the very first donation tier, I'm going to be getting some figures and putting them in the barracks, and that's going to be like your special area right there. Earlier in the series, I planned on having a mess hall, and that's obviously not what we're going to be able to have, so I am going to include all of the tier 1 donors, I guess you can call them. They're gonna be in here. They're gonna be super special, super unique, gonna be getting a huge special shout out for you guys. So that's kind of where, just in case you were wondering, if you are a donor tier 1 or tier 2, tier 1 is gonna be in there, and then tier 2 is gonna be in a special room up on the mountain right there. So I think that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. Again, like, it's nothing too much crazy to go over, but just we're finally like getting closer to the end of the series, and that's really incredible. Like, just seeing how tall that mountain is, it's pretty tall. I think actually it's probably even taller than Crate was, which is really cool. I didn't think I'd be going as tall as this. I said I wanted to go as tall as the Star Destroyer case right there, but obviously we've surpassed that quite a bit, and I'm actually okay with that. I think it does look super cool. So I think in terms of a final height, I'm going to round that top off right there to where that top slope is, and then basically go straight across, do the same thing for that side, and then we're going to work on that middle section for whichever next segment we have. So that's going to be that, guys. I hope you really did enjoy this week's segment. Tons and tons of stuff done, a lot of man hours put into this week's update, and I hope you guys did enjoy. Once again, if you aren't already a part of the fam, make sure you guys subscribe down below and drop a like, and let's go ahead and hit to the outro of today's video. So guys, that brings week 25 of Building Anaxes to a close. Like I said, we are nearing the end of the series. This is crazy. I've been working on this mock, obviously, physically for 25 weeks up until this point, but I've actually kind of been working on it for almost a year. I think I started progress back in March, so we're kind of coming up on a full year of working on this mock, and that's kind of crazy to think because I didn't think it would obviously take this long, but we've had a couple hiccups in the road, but I'm super excited to finally get this thing done and show you guys the final product. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Like I said before, guys, if you haven't already, please subscribe. It helps out the channel so much, and let's be honest, you don't want to miss any of these segments coming up. I don't think, at least, so definitely subscribe. So hopefully the mountains being built this week was able to finally give you a complete sense of scale for everything. I think the mountain backdrop looks gorgeous. I think it perfectly captures like the entire aesthetic of the mock, and I really like how the technique worked out. I was a little bit worried. I didn't know necessarily what I was going to do because, as you guys know, or if you guys didn't know, Anaxes mountains are very clean cut. They're not rigid, they're not rocky, they're kind of like a laser cut right down between the ground. So I think the technique turned out really nice, and while the rock work and the technique might not be the most beautiful to look at, to me it is, because it is accurate and it looks really cool. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the future segments of Anaxes. Like I said, we have maybe 4 or 5 segments left now. Basically, the medical bay is actually ordered. It is coming. I believe it will be done within the next 1 to 2 weeks. I have no guarantee. The part orders are in, so it just depends on how many parts I can get in as fast as I can, how much time I can work, stuff like that. We also have to finish that middle section. So if you guys, I'll focus right now. If you guys see that middle section of the wall right there, we got to fill that gap in. I have an idea of how I'm going to do that, so I don't think it's going to be too difficult, but of course having parts and stuff like that is going to be a little difficult, so we're going to see how well I can fare with those pieces. Now, after I get the medical bay and the mountain done, there's one thing left, and that's the ATTE, and that is something that I have been sourcing parts for the past couple of weeks. I actually have about half the parts already on hand, which is super awesome, so we're nearing the last leg of the series, and it definitely sucks. It's bittersweet, but of course we'll get more into that as the series actually physically comes to a close. But we are just about wrapping up here on the channel, so you guys definitely don't want to miss any of the segments coming out, because these are the last ones that are going to be in this Anaxes series forever, so stay tuned. So guys, that wraps up this week's segment. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, drop a like if you guys did enjoy, and let me know down below what you're all thinking so far. I cannot wait to continue progress and get this thing done, hopefully by the end of February, so stay tuned, guys. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Hope you have a great, wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you later. Take it easy. Peace.